Hi, I'm Ian, social media lawyer, and I'm recently a big NFT and crypto and metaverse enthusiast. Today, I was thinking as I was getting ready for this broadcast about what's going on in the metaverse. What's the final end game for the metaverse? Excuse me. And then I was also thinking about what happened yesterday, where I guess it was actually the day before, where this guy named Jeffrey Hunter was able to download every NFT on the Ethereum and Solana networks, all of them, and then be able to show us that how easy it was to have access to these digital assets. Now, a lot of people on the other side were saying, listen, that's not a big deal. You don't have the proof of ownership, which is the real value for NFTs and all sorts of items, in-game items in this metaverse. But it made me realize that we're not quite there yet. There's a lot of stepping stones that we need to take before we, completely invest ourselves in the metaverse. I am investigating it because I want to help you understand more about what is the metaverse. How do you mint NFTs? What are NFTs? Can NFTs even be used for anything? And a lot of people talk about, oh my gosh, NFTs are digital art and they're not useful. And I see that, but I also see a version of NFTs in the future that would be very useful. They would be your access to clubs. They would be documents. They would be insurance policies. Right now, we probably, if you're prudent, you save your insurance policy for your car or something as a PDF on your Google Drive or maybe your computer. And that's how you deal with it. If someone needs to see your insurance, you can just, email it to them or look at it or whatever. But in the future, it may be that your insurance policy is a smart contract in the metaverse. And you don't need to email it to someone. Someone can just see it. They can see Ian's insurance policy if there's no private information, obviously. But we could get to an age where it's much more efficient. I also see, and I think this is what the brands are doing. We're going to be talking about that today. The brands are doing NFTs all over the place, and they're using them as access to clubs. And I don't necessarily mean like a fan club or something, but I mean exclusive access to a Discord server, to a Facebook group, to the ability to buy things in the future. And I got to tell you, as much as there's this pressure against NFTs and, oh, they're stupid and all those things, the brands keep on doing it. And for the most part, you can trust that a lot of these corporate partners are not wasting their money. I mean, we've seen them waste money in the past, but they're having campaigns that are designed around NFTs and the metaverse, not just NFTs, the metaverse in general. We saw a story today about Barbados, the country of Barbados. I believe it's a country. They now have paid Decentraland, which is one of those big universe providers in the metaverse, going to be working with Facebook in the near future. They've paid them to have a Barbados embassy in Decentraland that people can visit. Evidently, you can get what's called an e-visa and be able to have access to Barbados in this Decentraland. And, you may say, Ian, I have no interest in going on my computer and walking around in this fake world. And I don't have time. I mean, I'm making ends meet. It's a tough time right now. So I get it, but I think the meaning is less about what you are interested in and about where the world is going so that you can better position yourself for the future. Maybe it's Decentraland, maybe it's not. But how can you form your products, your services to complement what these big brands are and governments at this stage are undoubtedly doing to embrace the metaverse? So I know it's a far off concept. I know it's not really useful in the day to day, but I think that because of the bigger companies, the smart people, the billionaires, it's worth taking a second look. And that's why I've been spending a lot of time researching exactly what these things are, how to utilize these things. I made a video this week. It's all about legal tips that are incident to minting NFTs. And so if you get a chance to look at it, just go onto my channel and check it out there. I think that these legal tips are not just for you. Maybe you're not an artist. Maybe you're never going to mint an NFT, but they're things for you to think about in case you're selling products or services online, you're, like maybe you're a professional. These are tips that can apply to all those different things as we move slowly into this metaverse. So anyway, that is what we're going to be talking about today. I just wanted to say hi to a couple people that are here today. We got Fike here. He's talking about the thumbnail. Thank you so much, Fike. Good to see you. Tom Nash is here. Good job, Tom. I love your content. Just killing it out there. Great to see you. Kim is here. Hi, Ian. Looking forward to learning more about the metaverse. Thanks in advance. Well, Kim, you and I are learning it together. I'm part of a Discord group right now, NFT community, and I'm learning from these guys. These guys are artists mostly, and I say guys, men and women, and they are helping me understand what it's like to start an NFT project, to actually flip NFTs, to look for NFTs and other parts of the metaverse that can make you money, and then be able to capitalize on that money in real dollars. These are people that are alternative. They're not the mainstream. They're not really paying attention to the news, Kyle Rittenhouse, and all these things that are kind of distracting us right now. What they're doing is they're saying, listen, I see the future, and I'm going to try to understand the coding of the people, the vendors out there that help us transform our services, our art into something that is going to be used not only now, but in the future. So, Kim, we are learning together. We also got Easy Reap here, NFT all the way, got thousands put into it. Well, Easy Reap, I'm a lawyer, and I'm a lawyer that's kind of going on this journey in the metaverse, trying to see where the legal concepts collide, where you should be worried and where you should be taking action. And so a lot of my content in the future is going to be about that. And so, yeah, let's hang together, Easy Reap. And then what I'm going to do is you go ahead and make some money on NFTs or the metaverse or whatever. And I'm going to be the guy watching out for you, giving you those pointers for you to consider. And the big one right now is copyright. No one, I swear to God, no one is talking about this. And I think it's really, really important. Let me just state the rule as it exists right now throughout the country. When you sell your NFT, you do not transfer your copyrights to that music, to that art, to that document, to that book. That does not transfer. Now, there are exchanges, and I want to say Rarible is one of them. I should say selling platforms, where in the smart contract, you are exchanging your copyrights for the NFT, and that's part of the value of the NFT. But for all the other sales platforms right now, copyrights don't go with it. So it's important to understand what the components are of an NFT. It's the token on the blockchain, which gives you proof of ownership. It's the digital asset that resides somewhere on the internet. This guy, Jeffrey Hunter, was able to find that area. It's interplanetary file exchange, I believe, is where a lot of the digital assets are. And then, of course, the final component is the copyright part. And so a lot of people out there are doing some fan art. In other words, they'll do a picture of Darth Vader and they'll put it on OpenSea. Actually, I've seen it just recently, but they didn't get permission from the Star Wars people, the people who own Star Wars, and they're purveying that. And I think in the future, it's going to be easier for these large companies that own these copyrights to find these people, because it's right there on OpenSea. You can actually see all the transactions. You can see the account numbers. It's all there on the blockchain. And so it's going to present an even bigger threat to us artists, people out there that are minting NFTs. If we use people's stuff in our art, we could have a copyright problem. And then the next shift in the metaverse, I think, is it's much more efficient to have copyrights change with the purchase of an item. All right. Now, we got to remember this. It's cool for the artist, or it's cool for the buyer, right? Because when I do a picture of me and I sell it, I give my copyright to me. But the problem, of course, is that it's going to be harder and harder for fair use, for freedom of speech to exist. Because if I built, previously, like right now, the rule is if I build upon someone else's art, and let's say I'm doing it for an educational purpose, a news reporting purpose, commentary, or critique, I'm pretty good. But in this new world, it may be cut and dried. You can't use someone else's art to build upon it unless you have permission. And if you don't have that permission, there could be some harmful, dangerous ramifications. It could be something like your lawsuit, or maybe there's smart contracts in the future that will automatically penalize you. In other words, you're going to pay a license fee if you do that. It'll find it, the AI will find it, and then it will find your account and it will take out, 100 Ether or something, Ethereum, excuse me. And so these are some of the worries that I have. And so that takes us to our first story today. Let's see, I want to put it on the screen. Share. Let's see, share screen. And this is a copyright, real big issue. This is the Quentin Tarantino story. Do we see it on? Yeah, we see it there. All right, let me know if you guys cannot see this here, but the story of this is Miramax sues Quentin Tarantino over Pulp Fiction NFTs. Tarantino moves forward. The guy he's not afraid of Miramax, which I would be. So the story is Quentin Tarantino learned probably, I want to say like 6 months ago, about what NFTs were. It's actually online. You can watch when he goes, oh, I didn't even know that existed. So he learns that and he goes, oh my gosh, I wrote the scripts to my movies and Pulp Fiction is one of them. And what was smart about him is he actually retained the publishing rights to the Pulp Fiction script. So he was like, dude, why don't I offer 7 limited edition NFTs for people to buy, fans of Pulp Fiction to buy. And what you're going to get is a certified, verified copy of this portion of the script from this scene. You're going to get my commentary about the script and about how the movie scene actually turned out. And this is the tough part, you're going to get a copy of the video scene that it was taken from. So they announced it. They did a partnership with Secret NFTs, I believe it's called. And everyone was stoked about it. There's only going to be 7. Not only is it going to be worth a lot of money when it was minted, but it's also going to be worth a lot of money, I think, over time. I think it's pretty awesome. It's also going to entitle you to buy more Quentin Tarantino stuff. And there's a whole bunch of different benefits to it. So Miramax goes, wait a minute, dude. We have the copyrights to the movie. So you can't just mint a movie NFT without our permission. So they send a cease and desist letter to Quentin Tarantino. Quentin says, F off, pardon my language. He just ignores it. And then Miramax actually sues him. And the claim is copyright infringement. And the question that's relevant to legal minds out there is, how far does copyright law extend into the metaverse, into the NFT world? Is it within Quentin Tarantino's rights to not only publish digitally in an NFT his script, but also the derivative, because you got to remember, it's derivative of the movie scenes. In other words, the script had to exist before the movie scenes. And also Quentin Tarantino, I think it was the director. So the actual movie scenes are derivative of this script that he owns. So it's arguable that he could say, listen, dude, I can do this NFT. I own the original art, which is the script. And then the derivative scenes that came from it that I directed, I should be able to put in an NFT. Miramax says, hell no, dude. I own the copyrights to these movie scenes, or Miramax does. And you can't do that without permission. And they even kind of top it off by saying, you know what, if you had just reached out to us, we probably would have given you permission. And Tarantino says, you know what you probably would have done is you probably would have taken all the money that I'm going to make on these NFTs, because here's the other kicker. These NFTs, I haven't seen the smart contract, but likely have a commission structure. So that what's so wonderful about NFTs is you create the art, and then you reserve 10%. Some selling exchanges allow you to reserve up to 50% of the future sales of that NFT. So Quentin Tarantino mints the NFT. I don't even know what it's going to cost, but I'm just making it up. 5 Ether, 2 Ether, or whatever. I keep saying Ether, but let's just say Ethereum. And so that's that cost. And then it grows in value over time, and people begin to sell it and back and forth. Well, Quentin, I'm sure, has reserved between 10 and 50% of all the resales of all 7 NFTs. And what's so great about it is that in this metaverse world, he doesn't have to do anything to get that money. There's no audit that's needed. A lot of times when people are making money on the back end, they need an auditor to come in and say, hey, listen, what truly was the profit? We're entitled to 1% of it. Make sure you pay it. No. With NFTs and smart contracts, that money is automatically transferred to Quentin or whoever his management company is immediately on the resale of those NFTs. So again, the real question here is, does NFT law extend to the same extent as normal copyright law? Because in a normal copyright law world, I think Miramax has the better case, right? I mean, they do have the copyrights to the movie, but in this NFT world, it may change things. So that is kind of an example of what's changing in this world of copyright and in technology and copyright. I want to say hi to Leo Sketches. Good to see you, Leo. Good to see you very much. It says here, can some claim that they are the owner of my NFT design? No. The answer to that question is no. If you've minted properly an NFT on one of the selling platforms, then you are the blockchain owner. Now, people at the current technology can right-click and save, which is something we talk about all the time. Right-click and save on their image, and they can fraudulently represent that they own that art. They can use that art as their profile picture, but they cannot take it because you're the certified owner. That's pretty much the only value. There's more values, but that's the main value of NFTs these days is proof of ownership. That's why and people just equate it to a lot of different things. In that Jeffrey Hunter story I told you about, where he basically clicked and save all NFTs on Ethereum and Solana. One guy responded in the Twitter stream. He said, listen, okay, I've taken a picture of all your houses on this stream or on this thread. Now I own your houses. And he's trying to make the point that just because you have taken the digital image, and I will say in NFT world, it's the exact digital image, but just because you've taken it doesn't mean you own it. And it doesn't mean that there's not recourse for the original owner of this NFT later on in time. So it's not as people put too much utility, I think, in the actual image and what it can be used for. It's less about that and more about the ownership. That's the value. I'm just trying to think, what is the ownership of you having what is the value of you having a Rolex watch? I think the only value, I think everything tells time just well, there's just fine, but I think the only value is to show it off. So I think the same thing is true with NFTs. The only value, at least with digital art NFTs, is to show them off, to make it your profile picture. And if someone says, no, that's mine, well, you go, no, dude, just go on to OpenSea, go on to Foundation, go on to Super Rare, and you'll find that I'm actually the owner. So do all you want, have fun with the image, but I'm the original owner, and that's the power of it. All right, so we got Easy Wrap here. I stay away from all copyrights. I create my own, and it has all been Pulse Lifeline. A couple pieces of vector art had been used from Canva, and I'm on Pro Canva. Okay. Well, just remember that Canva is wonderful. I love the service. I use it all the time. But they retain their copyrights to their images. They just allow you to use them royalty free. So good example is Epidemic Sound. I use their music for my videos. I know that at the end of the day, when I sign off of YouTube someday and don't do it again, Epidemic Sound could claim my videos, at least some ownership in my videos, because they've allowed me a license during the tenure of my subscription to use their music. So the same is true with Canva. I would be very careful. We're moving into a world where if you want to have sole control over your art, don't rely on the doctrine of fair use. Rely on only one legal rule, and that is permission, written permission. Yes, emails are fine. If you want to use the local band's music in your videos, awesome. Just get an email from them saying you have total permission for now into perpetuity to use this song in your video where you publish worldwide, on any platform you want. That's going to be the key. If you don't, you do risk someone later claiming. And what's interesting in the metaverse now is it's going to get easier to claim. Right now, part of the reason why I resist spending a lot of time on YouTube material is because YouTube is Web 2.0. We're moving into Web 3.0, where we have interoperable sharing of technology, of digital files. So what's going to happen is there's going to be in the metaverse, there's almost going to be a universal claiming process. Right now, if I take Star Wars and put it on my channel, I'm going to get claimed on YouTube. Well, in the future, if you make an NFT of Star Wars, you're going to get claimed in the metaverse. Now, I don't know what those penalties are going to be. I don't know if there's going to be 3 strikes and your channel, your avatar is terminated, or in like Ready Player One, you lose all your money or whatever. But we're moving into a world that's much more global. That's not just YouTube. It's not Rumble. It's not Instagram Reels. It's going to be a global world. And so the concern about your copyrights is going to get even more important. It's not just like, dude, if I can't publish this on YouTube because I'll get claimed, but I can put it on Rumble. They're not going to claim me. No, this is a world where, like, if I put it out there, I may get claimed. So I like what Easy Reap is saying. I like why he's staying away from copyrights. He's saying that he's using a little bit of Canva royalty-free art. Be careful with that. The same is true and more true when it comes to music. A lot of our music, I was thinking about Drake's that I'm too sexy for, I don't even know the words, but of course he's got permission. That's how he was able to make that music. But what he's doing is he's purveying the use of other music to build upon. That's very much fair use. That's very much freedom of speech. Awesome. Do it. But Drake has so many resources to be able to do what he does. And what some music artists have done and talked to me about is that, they're trying to emulate that style. They want to use samples. They want to use variations of melodies. They want to recreate, almost cover old music and then put that in there. Well, in YouTube, you might get claimed, but in this new metaverse, you might get really claimed, and it could be some harmful consequences. So copyright is really important as we move into this Web 3.0. And I put out like a little story the other day about the difference between Metaverse and Web 3.0. I think for our purposes, you and me watching, Web 3.0 is where you need to reside. I mean, Web 3.0 is going to have a lot of incidents of Web 2.0. We're still doing video. We're still doing podcasts. We're doing a lot of audio stuff, a lot of image stuff. But what Web 3.0 does is it moves us into the features and benefits area. So we're going to be 3D video. Eventually, we're going to have holograms. We're moving into that kind of stage. And those holograms will have benefits with them. They'll have in-game items. And I say in-game, it may not just be in-game. It may be in-work items. Maybe you go to work in the virtual world, and because of your great style, you work many hours and you've done some great things, you're going to have the ability to have a faster or a better viewing screen, or you're going to have the ability to have better VR or AR goggles that you use to access the virtual world. So again, think about these things because they're really going to be important. And that's why, I love YouTube and I always will, but it's so 2000 late. Just kidding. No, it's Web 2.0. It's putting videos on, and it's worried about getting copyright strikes. And I think that you guys have got to get your brains to the style of, YouTube's great, but there's going to be another one, and it's going to be Web 3.0, and we're going to have interactive videos. And it's not just going to be me trying to give you some advice online. It's going to be me giving you advice online and then allowing you to unlock features of me, and that's what I want for you, because there's a lot of potential for you to gain financially from this area. I really am trying to ring the bell. Back in 2008, if you were online doing online courses and books, ebooks, you're probably a millionaire right now, right? That was at the beginning. We're moving past that, but we're at the beginning of a new structure that you should at least be open to. And then at the very most, be researching, reading the books. I have tons of NFT books around here. I've actually put them in the bookcase, but researching and being aware of it. Okay, cool. So what if you're 35? So what if you're 45? So what if you're 55? This is going to be the future. You need to learn about it. All right, let's move on to, let's see, we got some questions here. Okay, so we got a question from Miles Solobio. Nice to meet you, Miles. That's awesome. So overall, IP is protectable. Yes, the answer to the question is it is still protectable. You still could have a cause of action in a court for a copyright infringement. Miramax versus Quentin Tarantino is an example. But I also want to say that IP is going to get nothing but more protectable in this new world of decentralized ledgers on blockchain. I'll take you to OpenSea right now. You can actually see for various NFTs which accounts have owned, when they've owned, what it's been bought for, what attributes it has. You can see almost all the metadata for the NFT on these selling platforms. So that's going to make it even easier for people to claim copyright. So we're moving to an area where it's either going to be permission based, obviously fair use, like you see on the news, or you're going to risk having a problem. So yes, they are protectable. All right, we got some questions here, but how they own the movie instead of Tarantino? Did someone mint it before? Yeah, as Leo probably knows, when as part of the negotiations, I'm sure I wasn't there, but for Quentin able to direct and write that Pulp Fiction movie, he gave away the copyrights. I mean, the studio is the person that takes the most risk. They got to do all the marketing, they got to get the actors, they got to get the budget, they got to do all these different things. So it is very commonplace for especially during that time. Pulp Fiction was put out, I think, in 1994. So I mean, this is the 90s. Yeah, basically, you contracted your art away. You were a worker for hire in these movies, and then smart people who had some track record, like Quentin Tarantino, were able to negotiate certain carve-outs, which in this case was the script. He was able to have the publishing rights for the script. He says in interviews that he did that because he wants to make his scripts books, like he's done with the Hollywood movie. I forgot the name of the Hollywood movie. So yeah, that's how they own the copyrights. Stanky Danko. NFT's value isn't to show it off. Okay, I like that. NFT's value is in its ability to interact with the blockchain and other NFTs. Let's see what Stanky says. The invisible program built into NFTs and its corresponding owner. Okay, well, I love this talk. I don't know that I agree, Stanky Danko. I do like your NFT profile picture, though. I think that is partially true. I think what he's saying is that, especially with in-game items, the utility is partly to use them. But I do think that there's going to be a component, especially when we're in this beginning stage, of NFTs to show off. If you have the World of Warcraft, destruction hammer, not only is it cool because you can use it in the game, but also it's cool because you got it. There's one, and Ian Corzine owns this Warhammer. So I do think that there's multiple types of value in NFTs, in-game items, virtual items, whatever you want to call it. I use NFTs for short. I think it's oftentimes a trigger word, but I should just say virtual world items, digital assets. But I think there's lots of value, and that's the same true, in the real world. Like I talked about the Rolex. Yes, it does tell time, so there's value there. But I think more than not, it's like, dude, I got a Rolex, man. I have money to spare. So I think it's not just that. I think it's multiple things. Got a question from Leo Sketches. What about the controversial power consumption? Ooh, I like this one. If many computers compete to mint and only one makes it, then all others wasted energy. Well, Leo, really awesome question. That was my first concern when I jumped into NFTs probably like 9 months ago, maybe a year ago. Dude, I don't want to destroy the planet. I don't want to waste energy over something that's wasteful. But I think that having spoken, I'm in the NFT community now, and we're going back and forth on tweets. We're on Discord. It's getting less and less of a concern. There is no question that I think what does it take? I think it's like to mine in one Ethereum, it's the total power consumption of 2 households in America. That's wasteful. But we are moving, I believe, in the beginning of the year 2022 to proof of stake type of protocol for Ethereum. I am not a programmer. I think Anthony Goodley will call me out on this. I don't know everything that there is about NFTs. But from what I understand, that is going to drastically reduce power consumption across the world for Ethereum. Right now, Polygon, which is derivative of Ethereum, does not have nearly the power consumption. Solana, I would say, just from my elementary knowledge now, that a majority of altcoins, a majority of tokens within universes like, Mana and Decentraland, or what's the one in Sand? I think it's Sand is the currency there. Do not take overly conserve or use energy resources. So it's always good to be mindful of these things. And, do I want to contribute to destroying the world? I don't, but I think it's going away. And I think it's almost like my advice is really geared to 2 to 3 to 5 years down the road. And I think that within next year, a lot of that's going to be resolved. A lot of there's going to be issues. Bitcoin is going to be mined without as much power consumption. They're going to figure it out. It's just too powerful right now to not figure that out. So let's be mindful. Let's not wastefully trade Ethereum, which, by the way, you really can't, because the gas fees are so high right now. I mean, I bought an NFT the other day for $90 US dollars, but it's, I don't know what it was in Ethereum. But I want to tell you that I had to pay $130 in gas fees to get this one NFT. So it doesn't make sense unless you're spending many thousands of dollars to buy NFTs right now. If you're buying cheap ones, it's just wasteful. At least with respect to the Ethereum network. If you go to Polygon or Solana, it's way different. But I don't think that's going to be forever. So be careful. But it's not going to be next year. Stanky Danko, as a response, power consumption is a problem with proof of work blockchains like Bitcoin. So we just talked about that. And no one's buying, not many people are buying, NFTs with Bitcoin. Okay. And then Stanky also says there are all types of blockchains, proof of stake, that use much less energy. That's true. So let's get to let's kind of change our discussion. We're talking a lot about NFTs right now. And I do want to go to another story that popped up that has a legal point to it. And that is, let's put it on the screen here. Stop screen share. That is, okay, here we go. Yeah. So this is this story. Are we popping up here? Yeah, we got it up there. So this is this story. This is the Apple story. And I know that not all of you are Apple users. I do use the laptop and have some Apple stuff. But just so you know what the long and short is that Apple has said now that they're going to allow users of their iPhones and future their laptops to be able to fix their own issues. And I think that it comes in respect to not just the iPhone 12 and the 13, and it's only going to be limited to screens, batteries, and cameras. But there's been a lot of talk in our circles about this right to repair. President Biden issued an executive order in July, I believe, stating that he wants the FTC to enforce corporate companies to allow people to repair their own devices. And it's also been a frequent topic of Louis Rossmann and Marquez Brownlee. They've been talking about the right to repair, and there should be a National Right to Repair Act. And I just wanted to kind of bring out this discussion of this issue because I think that it's important to see where we're going on some of these things and where there are publicity stunts and where there are not. I think in this particular case, this is a publicity stunt. I think that Apple thinks that they see the writing on the wall. There's going to be some laws passed. It's a great marketing ploy for them to say, listen, you can own an iPhone and you can repair it yourself. I wonder if it's actually going to be economically beneficial for people to repair their own iPhones or repair their own computers. I think it's when you equate an Apple operating system or computer system with a PC, it's apples to oranges. With PCs, as far as my experience takes me, it's fairly easy to repair, have interchangeable parts, to not spend $1,000 to repair a memory module. Whereas it might with Apple things. So I wanted to bring this out for you because I think that this is an important story for us to see that, we're seeing corporations kind of market themselves as being more honoring of our privacy, giving us more rights to their products. And what I don't see, though, is I don't see them following through with this. And I also don't see this being a real valid point. I don't think it's going to be used. It reminds me of right to privacy. Done so many videos on our privacy and the fact that social media platforms are really degrading our privacy. But a lot of people counter when I talk about, boy, we're losing our right to privacy. They counter with the fact that, dude, you're late. We've already lost our privacy one example is credit card transactions. Whoever it is that's looking down upon us knows where we are by our credit card transactions, what we bought, so what we're interested in, how much we spent. Maybe that's indicative of our economic power in society. So many different things that come from that. So this is kind of one of those things where it's like, giving a little bit of, hey guys, throwing a bone. Hey, you can repair your own device, but really, are we really going to repair our own devices? How much is this screen going to cost if we want to fix our own screen? And how much logistical issue will there be when I crack my screen and then I order from Apple a new screen? I'm just guessing it's $500. I paid, $800 for the phone. And then I have to learn how to freaking put that in there. I don't know. It just seems to me like probably a wasted time. But I do want some input from you guys. What are your thoughts on right to repair? Do you think that there should be laws out there that says that, you should be able to repair your refrigerator? If you have the drive, you have the money to do it, you should be allowed to do it. Or do you think, who cares? So I don't know. I would love for you guys to talk a little bit more about that if you would like to. All right, let's move on to, let's see, we're talking to, okay, let's shift back a little bit to the NFT space. We got Kim Leeming saying, what is the name of the NFT Discord server you mentioned earlier? Is there a cost to join? Would it be relevant to complete newbie who knows nothing about NFTs? Oh my God, Kim, I gotta tell you, absolutely, the answer is yes. The NFT server is NFT community. You could load Discord on your phone or on your computer, and you could find it that way. What I will do at the conclusion of our talk today is I will put a link to it in the description section, so it'll be easier for you. Just come back to the video and click on it. The answer to the question is, I'm going to take this off because it's filling in my face, and frankly, I need my face on the screen. No, but is absolutely yes. These people on this particular server are some of the most warm, friendly people I've ever met in my life. They are mostly artists. So they are mostly digital artists, digital artwork type artists or music artists. I will say that I've gotten a major learning experience about scams and people shilling, this is the term, their NFTs on the platform. It's not allowed on NFT community. It's you're there sheerly to share information and to have fun. So yes, and also there's a cool little thread on this Discord server that allows newbies to ask any questions they want. I can't remember, it's new to NFTs or something. I can show it to you later. Where you can actually go there and just say, listen, what is an NFT? I'm an online course maker. Does it make sense for me to create my course as an NFT? These people are honest enough, as far as my experience goes, to say no, yes, here's how you do it. Here's a link to someone that's already done it. So yes, Discord is, and Twitter, Discord is really the place to learn this area and to get some exposure. I hope I can communicate this well. I don't know if NFTs will survive. I don't know. I just know that the technology, the decentralized technology on the blockchain will survive. It absolutely will. There's no question that it makes more economic sense and efficiency sense to have smart contracts automatically work behind the scenes and have no middleman, no bank that's taking a percentage of the transaction. You having all your stuff at your beck and call anytime. And then for people who actually need to access it, so long that your privacy is protected, they can. And then the other part is, the unhackable nature of it. I say that with quotes because, you just never know. People always figure out a way to hack things. But for the most part, because on each, and again, I don't know this that great, but all you programmers and coders tell me, but as far as I understand, each individual block is having a copy of your code and then code from the preceding block, so that they're a chain, and they're you can't just steal one and have access to everything else. So it only makes sense. So I think for a lot of people who are YouTubers, a lot of people who are online people, Instagram, like we have LinkedIn people all over the place, really loving the platform, Facebook people, of course. I am not telling you that tomorrow you convert your new book to an NFT, but what I am saying is please spend some time. We all have it. Don't watch The Shrink Next Door or Netflix for an hour and spend an hour learning NFTs or this crypto space, the metaverse, because I think you're gonna trip out when you actually see the potential. And as far as it goes with this the NFT community server on Discord, I highly recommend it. A lot of people out there who are just like you, who are new to the space and are getting. I spend hours researching the metaverse, and I probably get more knowledge in 5 to 10 minutes on the Discord server than I do it for hours, because you can ask direct questions, you follow the conversations, and you're like, oh, okay, huh, interesting. This YouTuber is really doing a good job of highlighting these investment opportunities. Oh, okay, great. This particular website has great NFT news about where I invest my dollars. Oh, this resource has great about art. It has a great tutorial about how you actually mint an NFT. So yes, the answer to the question is yes. Well, Miles Salubio, I found that interesting. Well, thank you, and I'm so glad you're here. Yoked Tesla. Woo! I love Yoked. I love him. I love him because he's so direct and to the point. He knows what he's saying. Or she. Maybe it's a she. I don't know. All this is going to do is show people how much better it is to just let the Apple repair devices. I like what we were saying. You either go in and get fixed same day or replaced, or wait weeks for parts to ship so you can fit it. Absolutely, YT. I agree. Now, as far as I remember, Yoke Tesla owns a Tesla, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that he can drive around his neighborhood and go, dude, I got a Tesla. But no, I'm just joking with you. But what's so good about Tesla, as far as I understand, is that, yeah, you don't fucking, excuse me, I almost said a bad word. You don't, open the hood and tinker with the electric motor. No. I think what happens is you call Tesla and you say, you know what, my Tesla's acting up. Please pick it up, fix it, and then deliver it back to me. And in the meantime, I need a Tesla to be able to drive to work. So right to repair. I mean, if right to repair laws are passed, actually by the legislatures, then you're going to have the opportunity to change the tire or whatever on a Tesla, and it's guaranteed by law. But how many of us are going to take them up on it? So that's why I think that this Apple right to repair thing is mostly a publicity stunt. Just like, dude, yeah, we'll bow to you. Yeah, you can repair the screen. Yeah, we don't have to do it. Yeah, it's going to cost you half the cost of your phone, but we can do it. You can do it. And then Yoke Tesla says whatever's cheaper for Apple. Agreed. It's all in their corporate interest too. Let's see, Stanky Danko. We should have right to repair items we have purchased ownership of. It's critical if you value sovereignty, which Stanky, again, I'm starting to really like your comments here. Absolutely. So what he's saying is it's larger than whether or not Ian wants to buy a screen for his iPhone. It's larger than that. It's a constitutional issue. It's freedom of movement, of the ability to do things in society. Well, I like that. I think that's true. I don't know. It's just like right of privacy. We have right of privacy, and especially if you're in America, almost all the constitutions of the states have a right to privacy in their own constitutions. We have an implied right of privacy when it comes to the U.S. Constitution, and certainly that applies to places in Canada and England and Australia. And we honor it, but we don't really use it day to day. And also, we are willing to trade away efficiency for our right to privacy, right? I mean, if you really wanted to honor the right to privacy, would you live in a cabin out in the woods, have no credit cards, and only function on gold? Probably. Otherwise, for the most part, living life these days requires you to surrender aspects of your right to privacy. So, and the same is true here. You have a right to repair your device. That's guaranteed by the law. Okay, but do you ever utilize it? I don't know. Maybe Stanky does, but probably not. Let's see here. We got Miles back. It ranges from who cares, I have a hack for that, to a revelation for some. I didn't know you could do that. It's true. So keep your mind open when it comes to not only the right to repair, but also the metaverse. Um, yeah. Stanky talks about quantum computing can destroy 256-bit encryption like it's child's play. This is one issue with blockchain security I've heard no one discussing. Yeah. I talked about unhackable and putting it in quotes. Yeah, with quantum computing, that may be an issue. But I guess the thought is that it's never going away, right? There's always going to be someone working negatively, trying to take what we have. I don't know that we're ever going to get to a society where when we have one advancement, it's purely a positive advancement. Right when we get to the blockchain, there's going to be blockchain hackers. We've seen it with crypto, I guess. I never know if we believe those stories, but we've seen it with crypto. We've seen it with Ethereum too. So that the hacking could still be there, and that's something to consider. I guess the thought would be, with decentralized blockchain, maybe there's always at the end of the day a proof of ownership. And so even if your stuff is stolen, at least you have evidence that it was. Whereas if, $50,000 was stolen from underneath your bed, you could tell the police there was $50,000 there. But really, other than your allegation, there's no evidence. When $50,000 in Ethereum is stolen from you, boom, you can see the account that took it. You can see that you owned it for what period. And frankly, it's open to everyone to see. So, yeah. All right, you do it. Hey, man, I saw you at Vid Summit. Good to see you, man. Hey, and I can't find the post, but I believe BMI or TuneCore made a post stating to stay away from NFTs and music. The laws would result in bankrupting a label with 500,000 no contest suits. No contest. Well, explain a little bit more about what a no contest suit is. I use the term no contest in the criminal context, but stay away from it. Well, I mean, listen, I can't tell you what to do. I just know what is. And I think are we talking about that today? I guess we're not talking about that today. I certainly talked about it in my last video. If you want to see, I made a video this week. It's all about the legal tips relating to minting of music NFTs. There is no doubt that the music industry is moving to decentralized digital assets. I'm sorry, even more so than Bored Apes or CryptoPunks or CryptoKitties. That's child's play compared to music, because I think that what's so great about music is we're going to start seeing a lot of different things, and we already see them. So a lot of these artists now are releasing their music as NFTs. And the reason they're doing it is because there's a greater amount of functionality and also control. So what we're seeing a lot of music people release, I think MIA recently released her new single, This Way, where you're able to access the music just like you would if you owned, a WAV file. And then you're able to access the stems. So you get her voice isolated, you get drums, you get keyboards, you get whatever. And then a lot of these NFTs allow you the ability to mix and remix and to publish, not commercially, but to publish your mixes on SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever. And then additionally, these NFTs allow you access sometimes to the artist, depending upon how famous the artist is. They allow you advanced access to tickets for larger concerts. They also allow you access to smaller analog type concerts, like 50 people type concerts. They allow you access to merch that you can't get anywhere else. Like, MIA has merch that you can buy. It says MIA, but these are special t-shirts. These are special shoes or whatever. So by you spending $100 on her new single, you get so much, especially if you're a big fan of hers. And it's way bigger than just being able to play this thing. Yes, anybody can BitTorrent or somehow rip a copy of her latest single, but what you have is so much more. So I don't, to be honest, within the next 2 years, I don't foresee artists not simultaneously releasing their music, not only as an audio file and streaming, but as an NFT. It only makes sense. It's so much easier to mint it. What I'm saying is it doesn't cost that much to mint it. So, and people, I think fans will really appreciate that. So we're going to talk about this story. The NFL is doing that. And maybe I can just advance quickly to that. But the NFL is releasing NFTs with ticket sales. You get the NFT after you've attended the game, but you get the NFT. So Let's see, you do it says one law I think requires a label to notify others based on transfer of ownership, and due to the nature of NFTs, the owners are private. Failure to do so in a week is an instant fine. Well, that may be, but I got to tell you, the other component I didn't reference in music NFTs is commissions. When that NFT changes hands, when the Quentin Tarantino NFT changes hands, he's getting commission automatically. The money is coming from the sale to his wallet. So, like I said, I can't imagine the future, at least for music, as not being simultaneous release of NFTs. And we may get to the style where we actually have NFT players, where we have streaming and then we have NFT, and it's all part of it. So your favorite artist, you might have some, might have 10 NFTs, and then you also have the ability to stream. And people won't even blink an eye. Right now they're saying right click and save, right click and save. Well, with the music, they're not even going to blink an eye. They're going to say, listen, I know the value of the new Pearl Jam song is not just being able to stream it whenever I want. I know the value is the fact that I have art. I have commentary by Eddie Vedder. I have the stems. I have access. I have the early access to the concert I want to go to. So that's going to infiltrate your brains over time. And I think it's going to be really important. Let's go to, I want to get to our comments, but I also want to talk about the NFL story real quick. Let's put that on so that we can see an example of what's happening right now. And that's why I'm advising you guys to really take this seriously. Here we go. Share. Is that on? I always have to check. So we have this story right here. And it says the NFL is attaching NFTs to tickets, and the Lions Thanksgiving game is on the list. So the Lions and the Bears play every Thanksgiving in America. It's going to happen next week, November 25th. And if you go to this game and you watch the Lions, who I believe are not had a victory this year, I think that's why they're doing this commemorative NFT. They're saying, I want to give you some value. But if you go to this game and you see the Lions lose, sorry, Detroit fans, you are going to get this commemorative NFT. This isn't the first one that's been issued by the NFL. There was also one for the 49ers game. I think it was the beginning of the season, or at least maybe the first game of the season. So you're going to get this NFT. I don't have a picture of the NFT. They don't show what it is. I bet we could locate one. But the senior vice president for business development says this about why they're doing it. It says, leveraging the emerging world of NFTs is new and exciting, an exciting way for us to create additional value and to further engage with fans who attend select games by providing a virtual commemorative ticket. There is no better way than the upcoming holiday season to kick off this fun and engaging fan experience, starting with the Chicago Bulls and Detroit Lions Thanksgiving Day matchup. So what the NFL is doing right now is they're saying, listen, we want to offer value, not just with people going to the game and buying beer and buying nachos or whatever. We want to be able to give them this NFT. It doesn't cost that much for them to have an NFT department to create these things. And it's going to offer value. I mean, who knows in the future? Is this NFT, if you have this one, are you going to get a discounted price on the next Thanksgiving Day game? Are you going to be able to trade this? They say they're going to. They're going to actually partner with Dapper Labs, which is the NBA Top Shot developer for NFTs. And Top Shot is blowing up right now. You can make lots of money if you get an initial NFT for NBA basketball players. They're going to partner with them now. And then next year, they're going to have an NFT marketplace for the NFL. So this digital collection part of the metaverse is going to take off. But it is a great way to have value. And so that's one of the things is it's so fun to be negative about NFTs and go, dude, they're just digital art that I can right click and save. But what they're not considering is it's not just digital art. I don't even know what this freaking NFL commemorative NFTs look like. It's probably not going to look that great. It's probably going to be a picture of your ticket, but that's not the point. It's access. That's the point. It's unique fan club. I don't know what the features are of this NFL NFT, but I'm sure it involves you now can join this group. Maybe there's an NFL Discord server or something, commemorative ticket Discord server, where you all can say, hey, wasn't it great that we own these things? And then be able to sell access later on in time and have access to buy more and more of these things. So again, proof of ownership, allows you access in this digital world. That's why it's important. Every now again, we need to shift gears and talk about non-metaverse issues, not even Web 2.0 issues. And it says, "Hey, Ian, I asked a girl out on a date yesterday at school. She said she did not know if she wants to go out with me. Could she sue me?" No. Unless you accompanied your asking for a date with some, physicality or apprehension of imminent danger, she could not sue you. So good luck on that one. I remember those days when I was asking girls out on dates, and it's tough times. But luckily, there's no legal implication. We got anonymous guy, but not a robot. So let's make sure we understand that. Hi, Ian. I've been following you for a couple of years and I really appreciate you and your content. Well, thank you, anonymous guy. I appreciate you following me. My drive for doing this stuff, waking up early on Saturdays, is to get that information out there and to open minds. I may be wrong. I'm not an expert. I'm learning just like you. I have a lot of background in the law, prior federal prosecutor, 20-year litigator in the media, in the business field, insurance field. So I've been to court. I've been before juries. I've been before judges, many judges. I've lost, I've won. And I think I have something to say that's unique in this atmosphere. And I think also I have something to say because I'm spending the time to really learn this. And I got to tell you that most intellectual property attorneys are not. We're still stuck in trademark. We're still stuck in Coca-Cola's trying to stop people from ripping off their cans. No, I think it's wonderful. We still need that in our life, but I'm moving forward because I'm trying to say where are the areas where people don't understand the law, and where are the areas where we're going undoubtedly. And this is where we're going, just like is evidenced by that Quentin Tarantino lawsuit. It's a real legal question. What is the status of copyright in this NFT world? And I want to be part of that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know this. I think maybe Stanky could help you here. I don't know how to protect the blockchain from Q computers, quantum computers. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, you do it. Almost a bad word. You would fit well over here at the Jersey Shore. Yeah, I know. And I wanted to spend more time hanging out with you. I tell you, we saw each other recently at Vid Summit. I just didn't. I should have taken the time to spend some more time with you. Do it. Thank you, and thank you for joining us today. Kim Leeming says, "Thanks, Ian. I'm looking forward to joining the NFT community Discord server. Sounds perfect for me. I'm a 3D animation artist. Would love to find out if minting a 3D animated movie would make sense." Well, I can tell you right now, it would. I'm not even an expert, but yes, you should be thinking about it. I myself have gone through the process of minting stuff. If you want to go to OpenSea right now and you search Ian Corzine, you will find a couple of NFTs. You'll find some that I own, and you'll find one that I made. Because I think it's important for lawyers who give, counsel to understand what the process is. You'll see it also in the video that I made this week. The video I made about legal tips for minting music NFTs, which is equally applicable to digital art. But I've done it, and I have to tell you that it is easy. It is not something that's mind-blowing. The real difficulty right now is the gas. If you go to OpenSea and you want to mint an NFT, absolutely can. As far as OpenSea goes, they allow you to mint for free. So, conceivably, if you've got 100 digital images that you want to put as NFTs, guess what? It's free. The only problem is that when you initialize your sales account, it counts as an Ethereum transaction, and you've got to figure out a time during the day when gas is the lowest. So, Kim, you may need to wake up at 3 a.m. now to do your initialization of your marketplace to get to save on the gas. And if you get up, with no one's on the network, you can get gas fees for $80. If you go in the middle of the day, I've seen it at $330. It gets really expensive. So that is an obstacle. You got to have some money in your wallet. Your MetaMask is the best one for OpenSea. And then open that marketplace. And then what's great about OpenSea, and this is not true about most of a lot of the other sales platforms, is it's free to mint. So please do that. What is the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is no one pays for your buys your NFTs, and it's just another website that you can use to advertise your wares. So I would advise all digital artists. I don't care if you're music, if you're doing written blogs, if you're doing obviously digital art. Get on OpenSea right now. I think it's the easiest right now, and put those things out there and see where you go. And the other step to it, and this is what the NFT community Discord server will advise, is you got to market it. Not everybody knows it's there, so you got to do some tweets about it. You got to publish some posts on Facebook or maybe Instagram about it. Get that vibe going. Jump on the Discord server. The one I'm describing, the NFT community, is not for necessarily shilling. There is a thread where you can go and you can shill, you can sell your stuff, but it's not for that. It's mostly for exchanging information and having fun with people. But there are plenty of places where you can do that, and you can kind of build up a following, and then people start wanting to buy your stuff, not only because it's beautiful, but because they want to support you, Kim. So yes, do it right now. I want to help you any way I can. So maybe you jump on the server, the NFT community server, which I'm going to put a link in the description after this, and maybe we could talk there, or you can talk to someone else about it. But do it right now. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about how to mint an NFT. I like Crypto Gorilla. I like Bitcoin Express. I like NFT Verse. Those are the channels that I like as far as kind of giving you some how-tos and some investment opportunities. Great guys over there. So do it. Do it now. All right. Yeah, anonymous guy is agreeing with me. I agree. Leo. Oh, he's talking about Leo. Agreeing with Leo. The future is bright. All right. We got Arrested in My Avenger. Big fan. Love your content. Well, Arrested, thank you for joining us. It means a lot. I really love your profile picture. That's badass. All right, let's see. We got some time here, so let's talk more about the metaverse. I know maybe it's getting tiresome, but I just want to show you some cool stuff that's going on. So what's happening is that Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook has created with his people a haptic glove, and I got to tell you, it's pretty awesome. Share the screen here. Let's go to let's see. Well, let's do the first one and see if you guys can see this. Make sure we do see it. Okay, yeah, I think you can see that. So let me just give you some background on this. Zuckerberg has been working with his team for 7 years on creating this haptic glove. One of the problems in the metaverse now is that you certainly can go in it. They certainly can mark your body. So in the metaverse, they know where you're at, where your hands are, where your feet are. But one of the things that they have not been able to really lick is touching objects and touching people. Many of the metaverse proponents say that's one of the things that's missing in the metaverse right now, is that there's that connection from touch that's really, really is undervalued. So Meta, whether or not you think Facebook is horrible or not, they've been spending time and money to create these gloves. And you can see these things on screen right here. Let me just see if I can get it. Yeah, right there. So you can see it right here, and it's a little bit crazy. So let me push play on this. Tell me if you have a problem with the sound. I think I cured it from last week. I'm turning it down on my end, and I'll push play.
Hey!
All right, so this is the one I like a lot. The shaking of the hand.
Here we go, you're on. One,
Touching is huge. Huge. And I'm sure you guys have dirty minds right now. You're also thinking about that too.
Gotcha.
But playing games, playing Jenga. You could argue, why don't you just play Jenga in real life? But maybe you're playing Jenga with your mom who lives in Japan. All right. Whoa. So that's this part is a little creepy right there. I always thought, I don't know what those are like airbags, and they get pumped up for some reason. I don't know exactly how that works, but that's what those are. So these are the haptic gloves that are going to allow you some touch in the new atmosphere. And I think it's great. It brings up a couple legal issues that I wanted to kind of talk about. Excuse me. The first one is handshakes. And we saw that in the video. What, in the real world, at least in America, handshakes have a legal significance too. And that is that oftentimes you hear about a handshake deal. When someone shakes another person's hand, that means assent. That means an agreement. What are we going to do in the future when we spend a lot of time in the metaverse and we shake on a deal, we shake on a bet? Is there going to be legal recourse for a digital handshake? Couldn't you argue later on in time, no, I didn't enter into that bet, I didn't enter into that agreement because it was digital, and I didn't even remember what was happening. I couldn't control it. The digital hand did it. I didn't do it. Whatever it is, there's going to be that legal issue. There's also going to be a legal issue, which is interesting, about harm, physical harm that occurs. I mean, we're looking at a haptic glove right now, but what happens when we can shake hands, when maybe there's a slap of a hand, there's some touching that's not warranted? Are you gonna have legal recourse for that? Someone slapped my hand or scared me through digital touch. And as a result, I suffered harm. I had emotional distress. And so therefore I'm bringing a civil lawsuit for intentional emotional distress. I know these things are far off, and I know these things are kind of like, okay, yeah, Ian, it's not really a big issue right now. But these are legal issues that will be coming to the forefront when we start having these digital haptic gloves. I don't think it's too far off. Technology is moving so fast that not only are we going to have augmented reality glasses that actually are comfortable to wear, but we're going to have these gloves. They're not going to look like this. They're going to look nice and sleek, and we're going to probably have less hesitation to put them on, especially when the reward in the digital world is through touch, which makes us all have great emotions oftentimes. So these are legal issues that I wanted you to consider as we move into the metaverse, and that is this touch concept, and it's not far off. Kim is going to be able to create digital art, and we looked at the dominoes in that video. You click over the dominoes, she'll be able to create digital art that maybe on the decentralized network we can interact with. Maybe we can go around her digital art and see it in 3D. Maybe we can touch it. Maybe she's done a picture of a vase with flowers, and we can touch the vase or touch the stems of the flowers. So there's just a lot of legal issues and normal issues that come up through the metaverse. And again, not happening today, not happening tomorrow, next year, possibly, certainly 5 years down the road, yes. And so it's important for us to take stock of that. It's important for us, especially if we're digital artists, to build into our art the ability to take advantage of these functions that are going to happen. Haptic gloves are going to be a thing. Facebook does not spend $10 billion on the metaverse a year and not have it succeed. They're just too big. It's like too big to fail. So again, I just want to show you another example of what's really going on with the metaverse that's happening to us right now. Let's see here. Yeah, we got Anonymous. Let me take that off screen. Anonymous talks about NFT of NFL is like those baseball cards. Imagine having Prime Bradley in your pocket in the metaverse. Yes, that is right. I haven't spent a lot of time talking about digital collectibles, but that is another purpose, another value for digital assets, NFTs, things in the metaverse. People are loving it right now. It's so great to be able to take your digital collection and have it in your phone, have it in a thumb drive, and then go to these conferences, in-person conferences, and be able to trade real time with these things. And these things, if you go to autograph.io, we talked about it, I think last week, these things have features and benefits, and they're 3D, and you can look at them. So I've never been a big collector. I don't have a comic book collection. I did have baseball cards, but I really wasn't a big collector. But I have to understand that I'm not the target audience, and I have to acknowledge that they have value. How has the baseball card industry existed? I'm just going to estimate for 100 years or 75 years. It's existed because there's a desire, there's demand. So we're just shifting our demand from actual paper to digital. And the thing to remember about this difference between the metaverse and Web 3.0 is interoperability. That is what a lot of the big smart people that are not me have talked about, which is that what'll be great about decentralized items is the ability to take these items throughout the metaverse. So you go to Decentraland, you buy a plot and you have a house there and you plant flowers and you interact with people. And you bring with you in that house your baseball card collection, your digital NFT baseball card collection. You talk with people outside in Decentraland and you say, oh, I have, one of the most popular baseball cards of all time. I have a Pete Rose or something like that, and rookie Pete Rose or something. And then you're able to trade it in Decentraland like that. And maybe that's in exchange for services. Maybe that's in exchange for more land or a different shirt or something like that. So you have to imagine that this is happening. And again, maybe you're different. Maybe you're like, dude, I'm never going to do that. Cool. Absolutely cool. That doesn't mean that you can't structure your business to serve that purpose. You may be a vegan, but you maybe have a restaurant that serves meat. Okay, it's not for you, but you recognize that there's a demand out there in commerce for meat in dinners. So you fill that demand. So please try not to take this personally. I don't get this world. It's never going to be for me. I don't know code. What is an NFT? I don't even know how to mint. Fine. Stay open to the fact that your business could involve this, even if it's like a plumbing business, right? What would it be like if you were to do some plumbing services and with the plumbing service came an NFT, and that NFT not only memorialized what was done, maybe recommendations for the future, but gave you access to repairs in the future, at a discount, 10% discount, or maybe even allowed you into this club, this plumbing club, where you were able to go in and ask questions about plumbing. Where can I get the best and have this community that has done the same thing as you and that has the token and has the admission to this club. So not suggesting you join a plumbing club or whatever. Maybe that's smart, maybe it's not. But remember that it's not about you. It's about what you can do in this future world that could make you money and help you do the things that you want to do. Maybe you always want to be in this reality, but maybe making $100,000 on a piece of art will allow you to have really a lot of fun in Hawaii or, on a vacation. So think about it that way. Okay. We got a bigger conversation now about quantum computers, which I should look into more. They're talking about hacking of quantum computers. We also got Anonymous coming in saying, hey, Ian, do you currently take interns? I got a bachelor in global law from a Dutch university, and I'm almost starting my master degree. Would like to learn together. I got experience in social media. Yeah, I highly recommend the social media law area. It's just the future. And there's very little competition. A lot of my clients come to me and say, listen, I have a very fancy lawyer in New York. He's an IP lawyer. He's represented all the big companies, doesn't have a YouTube account, doesn't know how to make a TikTok, doesn't understand NFTs. So I'm coming to you for your counsel, and that provides value to him. So highly recommend it. Yeah, I would be happy to talk to you. Why don't you tweet at me on Twitter at Ian Corzine, and then that way we can kind of begin a conversation and we can see what we can do. Because I'd be happy to have people that are learning just like me and an intern would be fine. It'd be awesome. Callie Maid, we love you, Ian. Thank you so much, Callie Maid. I appreciate it. I love you joining us. We got Kim Lehman saying, thank you so much. You're the bomb. I really appreciate you sharing so much valuable info. Happy to do it. Love doing it. We'll continue to do it. Thanks, Stanky. That means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you. Okay, let's just see if we got this going. Kim has one more comment, and that is, Ian, what you just mentioned about being able to jump into a 3D environment I use in a movie is already a reality. I use Unreal Engine to render my 3D movies. It's also a game engine. Yes, I remember Unreal from way back when I was playing video games. It is Unreal. It's amazing. So yes, it's already a thing. So let's mint them. Let's do it. OpenSea allows various video files. I think it's .mov, MP4, and some others. So I think even with OpenSea right now, you can upload. That's a good question. There's a 100 megabyte limit on OpenSea. So maybe you can just upload a preview or a more pixelated version of your art. And then what you do is you provide a URL to where the file is actually stored for people who want to buy it. So that would be great. If we ever have someone who's listening right now who is an expert on video NFTs, like the one we talked about with Quentin Tarantino, I would love to have you on the chat, maybe even on the live broadcast to talk about that, because that's one area where we don't see a lot of coverage. We see lots of static image, we see lots of music NFT stuff, but we don't see video, and that is a different beast. So yes, awesome. And again, I will put the link to the NFT community Discord server in the description because I want you guys to join me there. All right, so that is that. And so guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you allowing me to go into this new field. You know, I've spent a lot of time doing YouTube stuff, right? I've been telling you, listen, you better use fair use the right way. Otherwise you're going to get copyright striked and you're going to lose your channel. Still going to talk about them, but I do think that for you and I both, there's a new world out there, and it includes YouTube, but it also includes designing our wares to fit into the metaverse. And I want you to know about it. And I want you to know the legal considerations you need to take before you go into there. So that's why we're doing the content we're doing now. I love you all. We'll see you next Saturday.